Wow. Yeah. There's lots of people, especially in the corporate media and political establishment, that like to glorify war and cheer it on, but in reality, it brings on human horrors that many people can't even imagine. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Okradowski here of wearechange.org, and there's some absolute crazy news to get into today, not just internationally, but also here domestically, where of course there looks like there's a new effort to censor speech in the Western media environment, as already there's a lot of censorship going around right now, which we're going to be talking about in this particular broadcast. But our main topic of discussion will of course be the retaliatory strikes by Russia on Ukraine. Lots of crazy news to talk about here, especially when it comes to the bigger escalations, the involvement of Belarus, Poland preparing for the worst, and there's a lot of serious, important updates to talk about this story that we've been talking about for over 10 years now, that has been building up to its crescendo moment where we are at now. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, you can get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. The clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is, of course, from Kiev, we don't know exactly who filmed this through their car dash cam, but this is footage of what the Ukrainian people have to deal with today, as of course Russian military strikes have targeted major cities all throughout that country, bringing horror to many of the innocent civilians living there. Again, we're going to be talking about this story in just a little bit, but to follow up on yesterday's story, where we talked about the hashtag bankrupt PayPal that of course was trending on social media platforms, as people were shocked that PayPal put in their terms and services that they could steal your money if you dared hurt someone's feelings. What feelings? What information did you spread that they didn't like? Well, they were just vague about it, and they had the sole discretion to decide. People, of course, didn't like that, and it looks like this is also being translated with the stock price of PayPal, which many people look like they're dumping right now, as of course there was a major decrease in value from $90 to now $84.90 in the current making of this video. This as other companies are dipping their toes into, of course, censoring speech and information, and pushing for concepts that will essentially allow them to have thought control, as of course whenever you try to censor speech, you censor people's ability to think and rationally have conversations about issues honestly. If you limit those conversations, if you stifle free speech, you not only stop people's ability from being able to discuss and solve problems, you not only prevent people from being able to change their mind, but more importantly, you stop human progression, as of course free speech and freedom is correlated with human prosperity. This as we're finding out that Spotify has just acquired Kinsen, a company that detects and, quote, flags dangerous misinformation within audio content by, quote, by generating captions on it and then looking for keywords, which powerful people who have the money to pay and implement the software will choose that they don't want you listening to or hearing. Imagine having that possibility of being so powerful that you could eliminate words from even being discussed on a particular platform. This is the data. This is the software that Spotify just bought, specifically even highlighting an example of someone theorizing something, which of course this system flagged automatically, as it only wants you to hear the official version of events that have been proven wrong time after time. Again, when you look at the official story of what we've been told, specifically about this topic that is being censored by this software, the government got it wrong every step of the way. But even discussing how they got it wrong, even discussing alternatives to what might be truthful in the face of all these government lies, that is not allowed to the software that will, of course, be talking about it being a, quote, harmful claim and a false narrative. As, of course, the people who are pushing out the false narratives don't want to be questioned. And that's exactly what censorship is, as already the U.S. federal government spends tax dollars, quote, tackling misinformation by, of course, going after scientists, doctors, former New York Times journalists, victims, satirists, comedians and going to big tech social media, curating a list and saying, no, you're going to delete these individuals, which big tech social media has been doing. Yes, the federal government has been using your tax dollars to censor a Dr. Fauci parody page, and they did it successfully. As of course, the misinformation, the propaganda is so thick that there's even some individuals, especially climate groups, now demanding that any kind of misinformation questioning them be censored immediately off of the internet. This as 14 groups in the United Kingdom, including Friends of Earth and Greenpeace, have come together and now are demanding that big tech social media label any questioning of their agenda as, quote, hate speech, which is an absolutely pathetic move made against the biggest, most important freedom on the face of this earth, and that is the ability to be able to speak truthfully and freely. That right now is at stake here, as Twitter has even gone as far as to censor the Surgeon General of Florida from talking about legitimate scientific studies that, of course, question the official narrative. Again, we're going to be talking about this issue later on today on LukeUncensored.com, as we also can't forget we're living in a landscape where already there's a crap ton of censorship. You can't say certain things. You can't express certain ideas. You can't even theorize about the possibility of certain things, or else big tech will, of course, put the hammer down and silence you. And this is why on this particular YouTube channel, we release a lot of the normie content, a lot of the watered down content. And in reality, when we are on our own platform, LukeUncensored.com, this is where we bait in the Kyles and Karens and truly go down the rabbit hole further than anyone could even expect, expressing thoughts and ideas centered around specifically breaking through the matrix and helping out individuals make the right decisions for themselves. How to speak to family members, supplements, red light therapy, you name it, we all talk about it, all on LukeUncensored.com. New videos available for you right now in the making of this video. Just click the link down and below. And yes, now you could even officially sign up using alternatives to PayPal, which of course we're going to be focusing on and prioritizing, as we're even going to have a third alternative there soon. As of course, it's important to also walk the walk and not just talk the talk. LukeUncensored.com, check it out. Lots of amazing things that we offer you there. If you're not a member yet, what are you waiting for? Sign up right now. So, in the making of this video, it definitely looks like there have been a lot of severe escalations in the larger proxy war between the United States and Russia. Escalations that should be worrying for a lot of people, as we've been warning you about them for many years now, and we are here. An important question is, are we prepared? As of course, recruitment numbers here in the United States have been dismal and absolutely at very low levels that a lot of people have been sounding the alarms about. Today, the Biden administration announced that U.S. citizens or immigrants born male and have changed their gender to female are still required to register for the draft and selected services, while individuals who were born female and changed their gender to male are not required to register, officially announcing a policy that is very not trendy, very not progressive, and there's going to be a lot of people probably raising hell about this, or will they? As of course the probability of being chosen for the selected services for the draft are going up higher, as of course the prospects of war are getting higher. This as we're also learning about Germany's unpreparedness, as we're finding out that they lack ammunition, as there's a bullet shortage. This as the New York Times just came out and confirmed through a senior Ukrainian official that it was the Ukrainian government that orchestrated a truck bomb on the Crimea bridge that killed 3 innocent civilians. A bridge attacking a major key piece of Russian infrastructure, which we told you was a major escalations by the Ukrainians and was going to be met by escalations from the Russians. And I think we definitely have that right now, as Russia right now is also taking credit for disabling Starlink, the internet service that Elon Musk has provided to Ukraine, while the Ukrainian government criticizes him very heavily for trying to bring an end to this larger conflict. Now, who temporarily disabled these Starlink satellites is still in contention, but the Russians have answered back in other ways, as they have just launched a missile barrage inside of Ukraine, predominantly going after their energy infrastructure, sending 83 missiles at what they are claiming to be military, energy, and communication networks. A missile did hit a power plant, did hit also some civilian areas, killing at least 11 people, highlighting the largest single barrage since the opening of this war. This, as one of the missiles even hit the embassy of Germany inside of Kiev, specifically hitting their visa office inside of the country's capital. This, as the Russian government is also saying that this latest missile barrage is, quote, the first episode of many more to come. This, as the situation is also heating up on the northern border of Ukraine with Belarus, as we're finding out that the two countries, Belarus and Russia, have just agreed to a joint regional troop deployment. This, as for months now, Belarus has been staging around the Russian attacks on Ukraine. They have not yet been fully involved, and it looks like they will be involved very soon, as it appears that they're laying down the groundwork to join the war, as Belarus is now accusing the Ukrainian government, unquote, planning to attack Belarus with the help of allies from Poland and Lithuania. Is that true? Well, strategically, it wouldn't look like a smart thing for Ukraine to do. And again, these are allegations by politicians who are pushing us further and further towards the brink of calamity. Again, we saw this coming. It's here, it's getting worse, and it's only going to get a lot worse from here, because there's no stopping the people pouring fuel on this large fire that soon will engulf almost everyone. Poland is now advising their citizens to leave Belarus, as they're also checking their conditions of the bomb shelter, as just a few days ago, they literally went to the United States and said, hey, can we borrow some of your nukes? And as a proud Polish man, the situation in Europe is an absolute mess. And my family, my bloodline has seen enough war, and I think it's fair to say that we shouldn't be calling for more of it. The situation here is getting desperate from both sides, and with desperate parties come desperate actions. Will there be a potential false flag that will escalate this situation that will get other countries involved here? Well, I think that's a legitimate fear that is worth considering here, as of course the policies that the Western government is going with is literally running a gambit with World War III. Will desperate parties deliberately create a problem to get other countries involved? Well, history dictates that that is usually the case. Look at World War I. Look at World War II. Look at what galvanizing events created these major moments in history that have eviscerated millions of people from the face of the earth. What was it? False flag attacks. The Reichstag, the radio station on the Polish-German border, the Lusitania, and I can keep going on, and if history tells us anything, is that we should be doing everything in our power to try to prevent these larger escalations, and sadly, Hollywood, the corporate media, the politicians are doing the opposite of that. And that's why sharing this video is more important than ever. It might do something, it might not. But at least during these difficult times, we are raising our voices and trying to do our best to try to walk back the insanity that lunatics have rushed us to. If you thought anything I said was wrong or I got incorrect, let me know down in the comment section below. I always appreciate constructive criticism. I always appreciate being able to see a different perspective than I wouldn't naturally see myself. And that's why I can't thank you guys for engaging in the comment section, for sharing these videos with your friends and family members. It is more imperative than ever, and because you do that, I'm still here, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org. One more video right now available for you on lukeuncensored.com. See you there.